After reading chapter one in the oral history reader, I thought that oral history is much more important than what, um, like maybe a textbook would be, because these are stories that are handed down from generations to generations, or told from generations to generations, and there's so much more included in these oral histories versus a textbook. And the author of chapter one, she just, basically heard the stories that her aunt and her grandma and all the other ladies that would sit on the porch in the summertime. She would hear these stories. And once she was able to go to Africa and hear the oral story of the elders in the village, it just amazed her how, this history has been passed down um, over the years. And I thought it was just really a great chapter. And um, my response to the stud Turkle, um, with the different things he was saying in the interviews and everything, the points that I liked was how he credited the people he interviewed as being the authors of his books and not so much him. And the other thing I liked was how he said, we always hear about the great people, but we don't always hear about the people behind the great people. For example, the pyramids, and how he said we thought that the great pharaohs built them, and it really wasn't the great pharaohs. It was the slaves that were the important ones that really built um, the pyramid. So I thought those things were very important. And my reaction to the StoryCorps website was, I really thought it was a good website because, these people are just regular Americans, and they don't really like, think of themselves as being anybody like up there like Bill Gates or, anybody famous. These are just regular people wanting to share their story. And it may not be important to me what they were talking about, but it was important to them, and they just wanted to share that. So these were like random subjects that they thought was important to talk about and interview people, or tell maybe a son or daughter about how it was back in their time. And you know I thought it was a very good website. Now my proposal for my oral history, I have two of them, and I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to pick. But the first one I thought about was um, working with children, or maybe even having a child with a learning disability. Um, I work with children that have learning disabilities, and it's not always easy to work with them because you can teach them something until you're blowing you in the face, and you can just keep on going over it, over whatever it is repetitiously, and they may seem to catch on, and then maybe an hour later, or you can even go back a second later, and they will not have a clue as to what you just you know repetitiously went over. So that's important to me. And I would talk to teachers of the handicap because I work in a public school district. So I would talk to teachers of the handicap that I work with, and also psychiatrists or psychologists that are part of a school study team. So, I mean, not a school study team, a child study team. And these are people that work very closely with children having disabilities or a handicap. So, that's my first proposal. And if that doesn't work, then I think my second proposal would be dealing with divorce as an adult. My parents were married for 38 years, and they were um, divorced about 2 years ago. And I just, wanted to share that and see the different reactions, or maybe even learn something about how life was for others, not as so much for me, but others. Like, as for example, my sisters, I would interview them. And I don't know who I could interview as far as being an expert, but maybe I'll talk about them. So that's my proposal and my reaction. Thank you very much.